Good morning, CSL, and my friends on Facebook. I'm Marcy Knox, and I'm your reader for today. The theme for June is Living Everyday Wonder, Body. The topic for today is Loving This Body. Ernest Holmes shares this about the body. There is a cosmic or divine pattern at the center of every organ of the physical body. Our body is some part of the body of God. It is a manifestation of the Supreme Spirit. Ernest Holmes also shared the body is the house in which, for the present, you are living and your need to keep it in good repair by a right mental attitude toward it. Your body is entitled to your respect, whatever condition it's in. Let's affirm together. I delight in the wonder of my body and treat it kindly. And now I bring back to you, Reverend Kathleen.
Well, what I thought was there is not there, which is the bio. But there are so many things I could say about our wonderful speaker today, Eugene. He is a man of great heart and love. He's been dedicated to not only individual communities, but he's been dedicated to our home office, the Centers for Spiritual Living, that was originally in LA and now it's in Colorado. And he's moved along with it each step. And now he's on the East Coast, and we're so grateful that he's here. But he's served in so many capacities: the World Ministry of Prayer, the Commission for Diversity and Inclusion. The various ways in which he serves is just truly an inspiration to so many of us. And now he's down serving in the CSL in Baltimore, which is what brought him out here to the East Coast. And as a result, he's an amazing speaker. So let's welcome back let's give him a standing, a grand standing applause. Yeah, we're so happy to have you back, Eugene.
Man, good morning, good morning. So I need to set my timer here because if not, we'll be here for a while. Oh, you laugh. I'm not laughing here. You're still laughing. Good morning. I can put this here. The other thing that I really loved doing while I was at home office, and I still do it, is to write for the Science of Mind magazine. I've been doing that since 2007. And it's interesting because when I got hired onto the World Ministry of Prayer, they said, oh, by the way, one of your jobs that they didn't mention is that you write the affirmations for each month. And at that time, I was scared to death. And I had this process of sitting down. I had to meditate forever to come up with 4 affirmations. Now, as after all that time, I learned that life is an affirmation. Life is an affirmation. So they always come. Anyway, so it is so good to be back here. It's been a while since I've been here. It's been a while. Welcome to our Facebook folks who are love streaming today. Glad that you're here. So the theme for the year is Everyday Wonder. Everyday Wonder. I have this saying that I got from a song by Lisa Ferraro and her now past partner, Erica Luckett, and the song called Gratitude and Awe. And in that song, there's a line that I love. I'm using it all the time now. If we're not in awe, we're not paying attention. If we're not in awe, everyday wonder. If we're not in awe at the things that surround us, then we're not paying attention. Now, we don't even need to look outside of ourselves to find this, right? Take a breath. Do you understand all of the things around the world that go into that breath? Also, without the breath, life is a little different. If we're not in awe, we're not paying attention. I mean, just the fact that I'm speaking, the fact that people are hearing, the fact that I'm standing, the fact that the heart is beating, everyday wonder. So when we get up, sometimes we go, man, life's a drag. No, stop and take a breath. Stop and take a breath. And then be grateful for the breath, because as I said before, without the breath, life is a little different, right? So we can go a day or two or three without food or water. How long are we going to go without that breath? If we're 5 days? What was that? That's pretty good, right? But not much more than that, right? So if we're not in awe, we are not paying attention. And now, the theme of the month is the body. I think over the last week or so, we were talking about welcome to the temple, the body temple. Now, here's the thing, right? The body of spirit shows up in so many different ways. Dr. Ernest Holmes says that there's a power for good in the universe greater than we are, and we can use it. And that power, not only can we use it, we always do. We are always using it, no matter if we're conscious of it or not. But that power reveals itself in different forms of body. The earth is one of the bodies of this intelligence. The stars are one of the bodies of the intelligence. The trees, one of the bodies of this intelligence. Dr. Holmes says this about the body. When we talk about the body temple, our body temple, we are the living temple of spirit. Dr. Holmes says, the physical body is evolved for the purpose of allowing consciousness to function on this plane. The physical body is evolved for the purpose of allowing consciousness to function on this plane. In other words, within this body temple is consciousness. Our consciousness is not within the body. Our body is within the consciousness, which is why Dr. Holmes says, that our body demands our respect. We are to respect our body, because without the body, spirit as we are cannot function here on this plane. See, we are not our bodies. That's the one thing that if you get nothing else, you get this, that we are not our bodies. And unfortunately, we have grown up in a society where body is the focus. It has to be, looking a certain way. And if you get this car, you get the woman that looks like this body, right? Bunch of, how can I say this, hogwash, right? Your body is magnificent, just the way it is. Now, when the body temple starts to experience an illness or a sickness, what we want to remember is that God, the infinite intelligence, is not the creator of any sickness, illness, or dis-ease. Right? And because we are created in the spiritual image and likeness and are the spiritual nature of the body temple, then it stands to follow that the body temple, which is the perfect idea and the perfect mind of God, also should not be experiencing any sickness, illness, or disease, right? Now you go, yeah, Eugene, but I'm looking at it, I'm seeing it. Yes, we are. And that might be the issue. I'm not saying that it is, but that might be the issue, is that we are seeing it. Because what we see, we believe, right? So and when that is going on, when the illness and the sickness and the disease is going on, what we want to do is to appreciate the body. See, our minds are beautifully crafted to create what we want to experience. So you're saying, Eugene, if I think hard enough that this flu will go away, it will go away? Yeah, I'm living proof. COVID, I happen to have gotten, I don't know how I did this because I don't believe in getting sick, but it happened, but it was for 3 days. It was done, right? Because in that time period, all I did was pray. I am well, I am well, I am well. And I tell people how long that I was down, and I don't even call it COVID. I said, I just had this flu. And they're like, you're only down for three days. People have died from this. I'm like, I understand that. But the body temple listens to everything that we say. Love your body. Love your body. And more importantly than that, love life. We don't have, see, Spirit, mm, mm, mm. We do not have time to complain about what's going on. We don't have time to get upset about what's going on. And there's a lot of stuff going on around in the world. But if we spend time talking about it, talking badly about it, we're not helping the situation. And more importantly than that, what is it doing to the body? Our body is the living temple of spirit. Let me pick up my notes because I was about to go somewhere that I didn't really want to go. Our bodies, thank you. I had to pull that one back. Yeah, it wasn't going to be funny. I love to laugh back here. So temples, right? We have built, mankind has built, and womankind, of course, have built shrines and temples for us to go and worship in, right? There are temples, Buddhist temples, Islamic temples, Catholic churches, and synagogues, and they are gorgeous. They really are beautiful places to visit and to walk in, and they're designed for us to invoke the power of God. Right? So we go into these temples, but you know what? The greatest temple that we can ever visit is our own body. Your temple is the living body. The greatest temple is our body. In 1 Corinthians 3:16, it says, Paul was talking to the people in Corinth, know ye not that you are the temple of God, that the Spirit of God dwelleth in you? Know you not that the temple, that you are the living temple of spirit? Going back to what Holmes says, right? The physical body is evolved for the purpose of allowing consciousness. How about allowing spirit, allowing God, allowing love, allowing creativity, allowing peace to function on this plane? You may be the only spirit that somebody else sees. Love your body. Dr. Holmes says in the Science of Mind text, your soul is part of your temple. See, we don't have a soul, we are soul, right? We are soul, we are spirit. Your soul is part of your temple. This is what that's my note. Your soul belongs to the universe. Your mind is an outlet through which the creative intelligence of the universe seeks fulfillment. Catch that. Your mind is an outlet through which the creative intelligence of the universe seeks fulfillment. So the power of God, the infinite intelligence, call it what you want, call it God, call it love, call it peace, call it universal intelligence, whatever works for you, is here seeking fulfillment through you. It is seeking fulfillment through you. Do you really understand that you were intended to be here on this earth plane? That God so loved the world that it turned upon itself, clothed itself, and then named itself you. Right? Right. That calls for celebration. So whenever you look in the mirror, one of the things I like to say is behold the face of God. When you look in the mirror, behold the face of God. Can't get there, that's okay. Look in the mirror, looking at yourself in your eyes, and you go, God, I love you. I love you. One of the most important people that you will meet in your day is the person you meet in the mirror in the morning. You are magnificent. Okay, by show of hands, who really believes that? And there are a few who have their hands down because they don't want to raise their hands, but they still know. But here's the thing, whether or not you believe it, I know that to be the truth. Because there's nobody else on the face of the planet like you. No, and we're going to talk more about this in the workshop, so I don't want to let too much out on this, right? But out of the 7.9 billion people on the planet Earth, you are the only one that has that fingerprint. Love your body. You are the way that spirit shows up. You are the way that God, that love, that peace gets to reign supreme. But here's the thing about this. We need to recognize that. I love affirmative prayer. And every time I do an affirmative prayer, I am, somebody said, you are a stickler for the steps. You are a purist about those steps. And it's not really, those aren't steps for me. You know, recognition, unification, realization, thanksgiving, and release. These aren't steps for me. These are principles to live by. I mean, for example, imagine what it would feel like, not be like, but to feel like if you recognize the divine in everybody that you come across. No matter what they do, no matter what they are, no matter what political path that they're on, whatever religious path they're on, imagine what it would feel like to recognize that right where that person is, the divine is. Imagine that. And now here's the other thing I love about this. Imagine what it would feel like to really be one with that person. Virgie and I were speaking earlier this morning, and one of the purposes, no, my main purpose, is to remind us all, remind people of who we truly are as divine beings of light. And the body temple houses this divine being of light. And we were speaking about this, and I said, you know, in the New Testament, the story of the crucifixion, the story goes where Yeshua, Messiah, was on the cross, and he said, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. I say this, forgive them. Whoever comes into your life that needs forgiveness, forgive them, for they know not who they are. See, because if people really knew who they were, divine beings of light, people wouldn't do what they do. Now, we talk about unconditional love. Forgive them, for they know not who they are. So let me love them unconditionally. Unconditional love means I love you no matter what you say or don't say. I love you no matter what you do or don't do. I love you unconditionally. Now, easier said than done, I will admit. Now, then go to that same mirror and say, I love you unconditionally. Can we do that? Can we do that for ourselves? You know, can you love yourself unconditionally? Sometimes I have clients who are going through this process of loving themselves. I will have them, and this is an old, process that I remember picking up years ago, is have them stand in front of the mirror and say, I love you, right? I love you. But then also have them stand in the full-length mirror without any clothes on whatsoever and say, I love you. See, because we have been caught up in this image, right, that people are supposed to have. Physically, that there's shame and there's guilt. I'm not small enough. I'm not tall enough. I'm not shapely enough. Whatever it is, right? But the body is the vehicle of the temple. The body is the vehicle and the temple of the living Spirit. Love it just the way it is. Because you know what? It's the only one you have. Here on this plane, you guys are too quiet. Oh, I still have time. Thank you, Spirit. So whenever you find yourself walking down the street and you're feeling a little low, or maybe there's a little, ache in the back. Pain is a signal that something is out of alignment Even emotional pain is a signal that something is out of alignment. But when we're talking about the body, love your body. Love it, love it, love it. Love it like you love God. How many in the room, by show of hands, I would have you close your eyes so that you can't see other people raise their hands, but I'm not doing that. How many people truly love spirit, God, whatever you call it? Great. Unconditionally. Right? Cool. Right? Right. Good, 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 good. Put your hands down. How many of you in the room, by a show of hands, love yourself unconditionally? Yeah, working on it. Right? Right? Yeah. So here's the thing. And I also use that. How many of us trust God unconditionally? I trust spirit unconditionally. How many of us in the room trust yourselves? Well, maybe not all the time. Right? So then the question is this. If I don't trust myself unconditionally, how can I then trust spirit? If there's no separation. Uh-oh. So, being created in the spiritual image and likeness and out of the nature of the divine itself, which has created me to have this body temple, it is incumbent upon me to love this body temple because it is the temple of the living spirit. Love your body. Love your body because it's the only one that you have here on this plane. And it is here to have spirit create through you. Man, it is here so that spirit can dance through you, can sing through you, can play through you, to laugh through you, to love through you. Love your body. It is a magnificent, magnificent instrument of the divine. Can you join me in some prayer? Perfect timing, Holden. Yes, please. Oh, yeah. This is what I know. I know that there is a power, there is a presence, there is an intelligence that is at the very center of all of life. I know that it is the nature of this which I call God to permeate, to penetrate, and to fill the interspaces of the universe, meaning that the space within the space between the space, is filled with the divine intelligence of that which I call spirit. Now, I know that this thing called God is called by so many different names. Sometimes it is called God. Sometimes it is known as Allah. Sometimes it is known as Yahweh. Sometimes it is known as Olodumare or Vudun or Shango. But no matter what we call it forth into our conscious awareness, recognizing that it is at the very center of all of life. And having no circumference, there isn't anything that can, does, or will exist outside of the presence of God, for truly God is all there is. For in the beginning, God, the Alpha, the Omega, the in-between, that. All that there is and ever shall be is God revealing himself in all that we see and do not see. All that we know and the yet to be known. All that there is God. And so as I recognize and acknowledge that God is all there is, that God is everywhere present at all times, I know that at all times God is present right where we are. As I like to say, right here, right now, God is, we are. We are the way that God shows up. We are the way that God laughs. We are the way that God sings. We are the way that God creates through us. And so it is in my awareness of our oneness in God that I speak this word. I know that in this moment, right here and right now, we all step into the willingness to love our bodies even more. To eat the foods that the body asks for. To get the sleep that the body needs. And then absolutely to play when it's time for the body to play. I am grateful for our willingness to absolutely love our body so much that it begins to glow from the inside out. When people then see you, they go, God, there's something that is different about you because there's a glow about you. And that glow comes from that loving of self, loving the body to its highest and greatest. Now for this. and for so much more than my eyes can see, my ears can hear, and my words can ever possibly convey. I remain forever grateful and thankful. It is from this space of gratitude and thanksgiving that I now release my word into the beautiful and dynamic activity of love and law. I know that as this word is released into the law with unconditional love must take these words. It cannot help itself. It must take these words and then create them and move them and groove them and design them and then return them unto us, not void or empty, but absolutely and completely fulfilled. And so fulfilled, we simply and lovingly allow it to be. And we say, yes. And so it is. Peace and blessings. Thank you.